The United Kingdom has a long tradition of welcoming international students to study in its universities and colleges. They bring new perspective to university life, as well as intellectual ability and cultural awareness. The British Council estimates that the economic contribution from international students is £12.5 billion every year. But the Conservative government has announced major changes to the student visa system. The result is that many genuine international students risk being turned away from British universities and colleges, potentially crippling the education sector.
The first argument that I think most people generally tend to use is an economic argument that obviously universities can't be sustainable without international students coming in. They are charged a lot more. I personally don't think that's the right argument. I mean, yeah, they do provide a lot of financial support, but in terms of our campus, LSE is incredibly diverse. 70% of our students are actually international, and we have over 120 nationalities represented here. And it's an amazing experience to have such a broad mix, a variety of students in such a small space in the middle of London.
If you ask most people in the education sector about how international students contribute, they'll just say money, basically. But for me, that's the least important thing, the least important contribution international students bring here. It's, I can sit in a seminar at Goldsmiths and have 4 different continents, represented in that room, and be able to have this discussion on any topic from music to drama to history, whatever, and have contributions from people in that seminar from all different walks of life. And that is the best thing about what international students bring here, is that you can have that such diverse learning from such diverse different people, cultures, continents, everything.
Recently, over the last 10 years, people have also started to talk about the economic contribution. But I think it's important to say that that has come up only recently. It's the intellectual and cultural contribution which has always been fundamentally important. But now, of course, you can't ignore the money, because income is huge and universities are hugely dependent on their international students. You can take the economic value in various ways. I think the published figures say £2 billion of income in fees alone. I think it's important to realise you've got universities, we've got further education colleges in the public sector, and we've got a big private sector, both English language teaching and people doing vocational courses, or university courses franchised to private colleges. So you've got £2 billion of income just to public sector universities. You can probably double that to get the totality, £4 billion. And then on top of that, of course, there's the money that students spend in the community, on flats, on accommodation, on restaurants, on bars. So you can quite easily get towards a figure of £10 billion a year for the UK economy, which is a very big number.
But what is it that makes British universities so attractive? The quality of UK education is recognized all over the world by governments, employers and students themselves. There is an excellent selection of higher education courses with the benefit of being taught in English and which are generally shorter than in other countries. This means that despite high tuition fees charged by British universities, the courses can still represent excellent value and a popular choice. Around 340,000 international students came to Britain last year. Some came to fulfill a childhood dream to study abroad, others to improve their quality of life. Alejandro Celi, a 22-year-old student from Venezuela, arrived 10 months ago. His decision was partially influenced by the situation in his hometown Caracas, which he considers to be disastrous. Caracas has become one of the most dangerous cities in the world, with the world's highest murder rate. Although Venezuela is an oil-rich country, social inequality remains a daily reality. Armed robberies, carjackings and kidnappings are frequent. Many Venezuelans like Alejandro have fled the country in search for a better future.
And I came here to study in the UK, first of all, because I wanted to get out of Venezuela. Like, Venezuela, it's in such a bad political situation, not political, but social and economical situation, and it's such an insecure place to live that I wanted to get out of there. Like, coming here to the UK meant and still means a lot for me in my life. Like, this change, like from coming to one place to the other and starting a new life by myself, because I'm basically here alone, all alone. has been a challenge for me right now. I'm currently living with a British family. I'm renting a room there. I have a roommate there. We're both Venezuelans, but it's very nice because right now I'm having the chance to know how the British are, and they're very cool. Actually, they have been very open to having two Venezuelans living in their house. So it's very nice. It's very comfortable for me, at least as a student right now, to live with that family. In Venezuela, where we lived everybody in the house, we didn't used to have lunches all together. Like each one of us, like my brothers, me, or my sisters, and my mother, each one of us had a different schedule. So we always had the meals by ourselves. And that is different from here, where like there's always 2 meals that we have together. So they spent a lot of time together. Pretty messy,
But in London, Alejandro has had to adapt to a completely different culture and say goodbye to everything he was used to back at home.
I met Alejandro 2 years ago, I think. I remember that if I call, "Hey Samuel, how are you? I'm really need your help because I don't have house to stay tonight." And I said, "What?" I realized that I have another bed in my room, and I said to him, "Okay, if you want to stay in my house for just 1 week, that's cool." And well, he started to live there.
I met Alejandro through Sam. This is the first time we've had any kind of lodger, foreign students or anyone else. And I did this because I thought, A, it's a good thing, you know, to help people, and B, I wanted the children to meet people from different parts of the world. I must say, we've been very impressed by how diligent they are as students. They stay up late and work. If they have something to do, they work until it's done. I wish my children were as good, to be perfectly honest. I say jokingly, I say to my friends, you should get rid of your children and replace them with Venezuelans. They're much better.
Most of the day in the mornings I'm studying and I go to college. Well, I'm studying international relations, and you can do a lot of things when being an internationalist. You could work for any kind of government regarding foreign policy, or you can also work for risk analysis. So you can, let's say, be part of a consultant company and evaluate like if investing in a country would be risky or not risky. So what I like about this university, about Hult, is the fact that it's a very international university, just like London. Here you get to meet people from Latin America. There are a lot of Venezuelans like me, and people from Colombia, from Mexico, but also a lot of people from Vietnam or from Southeast Asia. That's one of the aspects that my university back at Venezuela didn't have. Here, not everybody thinks like you. But in Venezuela, for example, when we were discussing some certain topics in class, everybody had like the same opinion about certain topics. But here you get to, I don't know, discuss about how the world is economically organized or politically organized, or with a person